Hey, Wayne.
What it do, Pat?
Man, Frederick Douglass said that it is easier to mold children than it is to fix broken men.
That's right, but we still gotta get our family straight.
You're right about that, man. Everybody deserves a second chance. So welcome. You're listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People with my co-host,
Wayne O'Mara,
Lamitra Henderson Parker,
and Desi Alexander.
Whoa, put them seatbelts on,
cause we ready to roll, baby.
Patrick Henderson's Meets the People, and sit back and enjoy the show. Cause when the people all come together, and there's no stopping us, you already know. Well, you know what it is. Good morning to each and every one of you on this chilly morning, this chilly Monday morning, this chilly, beautiful Monday morning. We are thankful to be here, thankful to be on the air and able to come to you and to communicate with you. As you know, my co-host is Wayne O'Mara. Hi, Wayne, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. What it do, people?
And we have another special guest for you today, Mr. Michael J. Wilson. Mr. Michael J. Wilson is named new director of Maryland Hunger Solutions in July 22nd of 2012. The Food Research and Action Center is delighted to announce that Michael J. Wilson is the new director of the Maryland Hunger Solutions Initiative. Michael J. brings more than 30 years of experience organizing and coordinating programs and grassroots programs and is widely known and respected leader in the social justice community. Michael J., who lives in Silver Spring, has two children who go to college in Baltimore and has deep roots in Maryland. He brings the MDHS, which is Maryland Hunger Solutions, a set of skills, experience, and contacts that will serve the organization well and will build upon its already remarkable efforts to ensure seniors, children, and low-income people have access to the healthy food they need. In its first 5 years, Maryland Hunger Solutions work has led to substantial increases in participation in critical federal nutrition programs, including food stamps, the school breakfast program, at-risk after-school meal, programs and summer food programs, as well as significantly greater use of farmers markets by people at risk of food hardship. Michael J's career includes working as a legislative and press aide to the late Representative Charles Hayes, Democrat of Illinois, serving in high-level jobs in the Department of Labor during the Clinton administration, working as the legislative and political director for the United Food and Commercial Workers, and served as head of Americans for Democratic Action. Please join us in welcoming Mr. Michael J. Wilson. Hello, Mr. Wilson. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine. Good morning, fellas. How you guys doing?
We're very well. Thank you so much for joining us. I attended a seminar that you had, I believe it was last week or week before last, where you had
last Monday. It was a week ago today.
It was a week ago today, where you and members of your staff had for a week, I believe it was, decided that you all would eat on the amount allotted for families of SNAP, and I sat there and I heard the testimonies, not only from your staff, but I also heard from people that are homeless, that were in that situation. And Michael, this is an acute situation. I looked across the street that day and I saw under the bridge there, their office is located right next to Central Booking, and under the 83 freeway there were just, 30, 40, 50 men standing around there and waiting for food or something. Can you tell us more about what is going on with Maryland Hunger Solutions and why you got involved, and what does this SNAP these SNAP cuts, or food stamp cuts, mean to the hungry in Maryland, and specifically Baltimore?
Sure. So let me begin by thanking you for having us on to be able to talk about this. I mean, these are critical issues that affect the entire community and everybody. And not enough people know about what's going on. Mm-hmm. So the way you and I got connected was you had read the op-ed that I put in the Baltimore Sun last Monday, mm-hmm. Which talked about me taking the food stamp challenge. The mm-hmm. average benefit in the state of Maryland for somebody on food stamp or FSP, the food supplement program, is $30. Wow. That's the average. And it depends, obviously, on your income, or if you have income, or your expenses and your housing and your heat and your rent and all of that. So $30 is the average average benefit, and we had about 76 people around the state who took the food stamp challenge last week, including the head of the Maryland NAACP, and not just my staff, but other folks who work in government, other nonprofits. The night you were there, we had a couple of nutritionists who were there taking it as well. So it was the culmination of that event of actually living on a food stamp budget of $30 for the week, which is a challenge.
Yes, man.
Some people say, "Oh, I can do that because I would get this and I would get that, and I'd have money left over." Well, I know people talk a good game, but to actually do it is another notion.
Yes, sir.
It's another notion entirely. And so what you saw on Monday night was the culmination of that, where we were bringing together folks who had taken the challenge, as well as folks who are actually on food stamps. In this case, a couple of different folks, one who was currently experiencing homelessness and one who formerly had experienced homelessness.
Yes.
And we wanted to compare our experience, which is just a taste of what they go through in the real world, and just to share our experiences and talk about what that means. And so I think one of the things you heard from one of the guys, Tony, is like, I appreciate what you guys have done doing this challenge, because it just shows that, first of all, that you care,
right,
and second of all, that you're learning. You want to have empathy for what we're going through. So the real challenge for people on food stamps is, depending on your own situation, tough or very tough. As I had written in the op-ed that I wrote, fortunately for me, I have a car. I don't have to depend on public transportation to go to the store. I have a working refrigerator and a working stove, which everybody, particularly homeless folks, don't have.
Right.
So it's not to say that for a week I knew what it was like to be poor. But it was to say that for a week I had a taste of what it was like to live on a food stamp budget.
Well, tell me this. I was looking at some statistic here. There is a new term that is in the lexicon. It's called food insecurity. It is a term defined by the United States Department of Agriculture that indicates the availability of nutritionally adequate and safe food, or the ability to acquire such food is limited or uncertain for a household. Food insecurity. We used to call that starvation. I mean, we used to call that by many other names, but food insecurity, meaning that it is just, there is no definite plan that they know that they're going to be able to eat. Is that correct?
Well, that's right. I mean, for a lot of us, you go to your refrigerator and you open the door and you figure out, do I have some of the chicken? Do I have some of this? Do I have some of that? People who are food insecure, if they have a refrigerator, go to the refrigerator and they don't have choices. There's cold air and there's cold water, and there's much less choice. And when you're facing that situation, then you're food insecure. These are the folks who, you were talking earlier, and I heard you talking about, and you gave a lot of the information that I would have otherwise given. People who are food insecure, particularly those who are on food stamps, primarily are kids.
Yes.
They are people who are disabled, and they are elderly.
Yes.
And for anybody to say that those folks ought to be out getting a job is either ignorant or just plain mean.
Yes.
I agree. Children don't go out to get jobs. Children's job is to go to school and learn.
Yes.
And fortunately, we have an expanded effort here to try to get people food at schools, whether it's the school lunch program, the school breakfast program, the after-school program. All of those are helpful in terms of feeding kids. There's a lot of poor kids, particularly in the city of Baltimore. But to think that people who are disabled or who are elderly need to get out there and work is cruel, to say the least.
No,
we're really trying to make sure that people have food and have nutritious food so that they can continue to be a part of society as much as possible.
Listen, not only as much as society, but that they can function in society.